gonna rock sectional,
Yeah!
regional,
Woo!
and then
State,
baby! All right, I gotta run. All right, I gotta run. Bye-bye, I love you. Oh, and don't forget to study for exams. Oh, yeah, and Tamika, remember, student council meeting tomorrow. Mrs. Dawson said we could get our lunch and take it back to the room, so I'll see you at noon. All right, bye-bye. You are awesome! Dear God, I am writing to you because you are the only one I can talk to. You are the only one to whom I can talk. Sometimes it seems like if I were to speak out loud, if anyone were to hear, the whole world would end. Dear God, I try so hard to be good, to do well, but deep down, I'm bad. I'm disgusting. No one is like me. No one really knows me, and if they did, they would see I'm nothing like they think. They would not like me. They would not be my friend. Dear God, I am so lonely. I am so afraid all the time. Is there no one in the world who has ever felt this way? No one who has seen the things I've seen? Dear God, I just need to know there's someone out there who understands. I need someone to look up to. I think I could make it then.
Hey, all my children. Jackie, Mom's Mabley. Yeah, some of you know her, huh? She'd come out on stage in outfits similar to mine, not a tooth in her mouth. I wasn't going that far. She had a career that lasted over 60 years. She starred in various TV shows, made guest appearances on Smothers Brothers, Showtime at the Apollo, even performed at Carnegie Hall. She was very open about politics very vocal on political issues and civil rights issues. She was born Loretta Mary Aiken in North Carolina, 1894. She was raised in a home with mother and father, 15 siblings. It's a lot of children. Her father ran 2 small businesses and was a volunteer firefighter. Her mother took care of the home and also tended to boarders that they took in for extra income. At an early age, she started off dancing and singing, but she ended up finding her passion in comedy and recorded over 20+ albums. She's very famous. She was voted one of the funniest women ever on earth. At her early age, her father was killed in an explosion on a fire truck. That next year, her mother was killed Christmas Day, walking home from church. At age 11, she was raped by an elderly black man. By age 13, she was raped by a white sheriff. Both of those rapes resulted in pregnancies, and the children were given up for adoption. Over her lifetime, she did give birth to 4 other children. She endured a lot of pain in the time and had a lot of failed relationships with men. Basically, most of her comedy was centered around the fact that she talked about being with older men and relationships that she had with older men and how a young man couldn't do anything for her anymore. She always wanted a younger man. I think she was the original cougar. I guess we could call her that. I think she set the standards for that. One of her failed relationships, she said the man had taken so much from her that when she left him, she took his name, which was Jackie Mabley. She was so instrumental to other entertainers coming up that everybody affectionately called her Moms. That's how she got her name, Moms Mabley. At age 27, she became one of the first openly gay entertainers. Off stage, she was known affectionately as Mr. Moms. For a woman in the 1920s and 30s to have the heart to come out dressed as she chose to dress and in men's clothes, she had to have gall. It takes a lot now, 2018, to come out dressed in men's clothes. She's definitely my shero.
Today I'm going to talk about my mom, Bertha Carter Clay. Bertha Clay Carter, who was born September the 4th, 1926, youngest of 4 siblings. She married Joseph Carter on December the 16th, 1943, and together they had 7 children born in this order: Clara, Joanne, Stella, Phyllis, Charan, and Donna, and Thomas, my brother. My mother possessed a high sense of survival that became evident when my father deserted us. And public services wanted to separate us and put us in different foster homes, but my mother refused because she was determined to keep the family together. She didn't have a high school education or any education at all, but she made sure we went to school and she encouraged us to get those high grades. She educated herself by studying with us whenever we did our school homework, and she became excellent. Besides reading and writing, she became excellent in math. She strongly believed in the power of prayer, and she would often gather us to pray with her. Her mantra was, "Don't give up. When the tough gets going, When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Keep the faith. And she loved to give us advice in parables. And whenever we would ask her, what does she mean? With that mysterious smile, she would say, oh, you'll understand by and by. As some of us became parents, my mother glowed with pride as one by one grandchildren were born into the family. She loved to be surrounded by her children and grandchildren. She was not a famous educator or a distinguished politician or renowned activist, but she was my mother and best friend. At the age of 67, my mother, Bertha Carter, died on July the 10th, 1994, a well-known dignitary within our family history. I love you, Mom.
The Negro Mother by Langston Hughes. Children, I've come back today to tell you a story of a long, dark way that I had to climb, that I had to know in order for the race to live, to grow. I am the child they stole from the sand 300 years ago in Africa land. I am the dark girl who crossed the wide sea, carrying in her body the seed of the free. I am the woman who worked in the field, bringing the cotton and corn to yield. I am the one who labored as slave, beaten and mistreated for the work that I gave. Children sold away from me. Husbands sold too. No safety, no love, no respect was I due. 300 years ago in the deepest South, God put a song and a prayer in my mouth. God put a dream like steel in my soul, and now through my children, I'm reaching my goals. Now through my children, young and free, I realize the blessings denied to me. I couldn't read then. I couldn't write. I had nothing back there in the night. Sometimes the road was filled with tears, but I kept going through the lonely years. Sometimes the road was hot with sun, but I kept on till the work was done. I kept on, no stopping for me. I carried the seed of the coming free. I nourished a dream that no one could smother. Deep in my breast, the Negro Mother. I had only hope then, but now through you, dark ones of the day, my dreams must come true. Listen, all you children in the world out there. Remember my sweat, my pain, my despair. Remember my years filled with sorrow. And make of those years a torch for tomorrow. Make of my past a road to the light. Out of the ignorance, the darkness, the night. Lift high my banner out of the dust. Stand like free men supporting my trust. Believe in the right. Let none hold you back. Remember the whip and the slaver's tracks. Remember the strong and struggle and strife. Still bar you the way and deny you the life. But march ever forward, breaking down bars. Look ever upward at the sun and the stars. Oh, my dark children, may my dreams and my prayers impel you forever up the great stairs. For I will be with you till no white brother dare keeps down the children of the Negro Mother.
Amen. Cedric the Bold and the Beautiful. And I come to speak to you today to enlist you in the noble cause of Joan of Arc, the Maid of Orleans who recently saved your city from the siege of the cowardly English. Yes, we're looking for aid and additional soldiers to help drive the enemy from our land. You, sir, will you join us this day? Nah, you're waiting for Joan of Arc to save you. That's not going to happen because Joan is the one with the vision and the power and the connection to God to lead us on to glory. Yes, she's a woman and a mighty powerful woman too. She's got a pair that the English generals could only envy. Yeah, yes, it's true. She wears men's clothes, which some people say is a little unusual or unnatural, but I say what's wrong with a little cross-dressing now and then. After all, this is France. But some people all continue to have problems with her because she shakes things up and makes people feel uncomfortable. But that's what powerful people do. Amen. Some people even call her a witch. But these are just the men who are upset at not being in charge anymore. Well, if you want to go on to glory with us, she will lead us there. And I will meet you at the back, take your name, and then take you to Joan. Onward.
I was known, thank you. I was known as the First Lady of the World, or so I am told. I am Eleanor Roosevelt. Most of you will recognize me as the wife of Franklin, our 32nd President of the United States. Yes, I was that, but I was so much more. I was not pleased with the idea of Franklin becoming president, although I was an activist, a humanitarian, and a diplomat. I was not very domestic at all. So I didn't like taking care of my own house, let alone running the White House. Folks were not used to a woman being involved in the political arena, and I forever changed what the role of the First Lady would become. I did not let what other people think of me to stop me. You see, I have a rule that I live by. That is, I believe that no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And I was not about to give that. After Franklin died, I continued my political endeavors and was the first delegate for the United States to the United Nations. I was also the first chair of the Commission on Human Rights. In 1939, the Daughters of the American Revolution refused to let a young black woman by the name of Marian Anderson to perform in front of an integrated audience at Constitution Hall. Through my perseverance and aid, Miss Anderson performed a critically acclaimed open-air concert on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. It was a concert. It was wonderful to be there to see that. I have long since believed that great minds talk about ideas, average minds talk about events, and small minds talk about people. And talk about me they did. My relationship with Franklin was complicated from the very beginning. Although he did help me to fulfill my dreams in the political arena, it was Elena Hickok, journalist for the Associated Press for the White House, who was my truest confidant and friend. I have lived a remarkable life. I had dreams, and I worked very hard to make them a reality. How many of you have dreams? I would just share one thing: make them big, and do as much as possible to make them a reality. Though my day is past, the future still belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. I have just one last comment. There's only one way that my life would have been even more remarkable, and that is if I'd have been the president. In my day, that would have been met with different kind of laughter and scorn, as women did not have the right to vote until 1920, when I was 38 years old. However, most of you will have the privilege and honor to not only vote for, but to elect the first woman president of the United States of America. Thank you, thank you.
My mother, Sally Mae Stevens, has been gone exactly 41 years tomorrow, March the 12th. She may not be historic, but she's in two places: the history of my heart and the Lamb's Book of Life. As early as I can remember, we were taught to be a part of God's house. She encouraged us to help keep it clean, as well as contribute toward the upkeep. She was a firm believer in being a doer of the word and not a hearer only. She was a teacher to us as well, little things and big things. Our mother enjoyed many conversations on the phone. She built up her faith and ours for the worst of times. I was not prepared for the day she called me and she was talking about her death. She was patient, she was sweet, and she was kind. I wanted to be just like her. I did not realize what a gift I had until many years after she had passed. I am what I am today because of my mother. That's for you, Mom.
March is the month of women's history, or should I say women's Herstory. For her story, our story, the story of women down through time and civilization have largely been untold, lost, minimized, disregarded, or told from a patriarchal point of view. We celebrate and honor all women and girls from every race, the young and the old, the gay, straight, and transgendered, the famous ones of whom we know, and the names of the countless of women never recorded in history, but whoever changed the lives of the souls they touched. We acknowledge all of the women in the Bible, not in light of what their male counterparts did, but for their own accomplishments and contributions. Not just the ones we know, like Deborah, the mighty warrior, Ruth, the faithful one, Queen Esther, who saved her people, and Mary, the mother of Jesus, but all of the women of the pages of Scripture, such as Yael, who saved Israel from Sisera's grip, Abigail, through her hospitality and wisdom, saved the lives of her household. The 4 daughters of Philip the Evangelist, whose names we do not know, but who were prophetesses in the early church, and to Nympha, who started a church in her house. We honor all of the women who have given their lives caring for others, teaching children, managing households, starting businesses, cooking, cleaning, farming, and holding together the fabric of their families, churches, and communities. We acknowledge all of the women who stepped up during times of crisis, war, and tragedy. And then those same contributions were cast aside as if they were insignificant. We celebrate all of the warriors, soldiers, and leaders, those who ruled kingdoms and forever changed nations, alliances, government, and the political arena. And we are forever grateful to those women who pioneered the path for greater rights and freedom, to those in the suffrage movement who gave their lives so that women would have the right to vote and implemented the 19th Amendment to our Constitution. We continue to uphold those women who hold the line, who press for equal rights, equal pay, and equal opportunity. Those who crack and shatter the glass ceilings in every facet of society. Those who refuse to conform to societal norms, but dare to be themselves who God created them to be. We speak the truth and cast down the lie that women are inferior, weaker, or less capable, that they are responsible for the downfall of mankind, or that they are somehow made less in the image of God. Yes, indeed, we are telling her story, not only now in the month of March, but now and forevermore.